House Speaker Nancy Pelosi leaving Taiwan after her historic visit, now heading to South Korea as she continues her tour of Asia. We have the very latest coming up. Plus,
coming up next, a festival attracting film lovers is back. Details on what you can expect at this year's San Antonio Film Festival.
And we are continuing to monitor 2 wildfires in the Hill Country area. We're going to have the very latest in just a few minutes.
Live from KSAT 12. Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
good morning, and thank you so much for starting your day with us. It is Wednesday. It is August 3rd.
Yes, thanks for joining us. Happy Wednesday. We made it to Wednesday. It's been a hot week, but now we have wind to worry about as well.
Let's take a live look out at the Alamo City. So, triple-digit day after triple-digit day yesterday. Justin, I got to tell you, there were blue skies out there. A lot of heat, though.
A lot of heat. I want to point your attention to the grass there and the medians and the side of the roads. Look how brown it is. Yeah. And this really is the issue that we're going to start dealing with here, because we've got gusty winds. We saw that yesterday. And even though there is humidity there, we're getting these wildfires starting to develop. And that is going to be an issue, I think, especially as we head later into the month. Triple-digit count. 53. So we're creeping closer to those records. Yesterday we did get 102. Today I think we get 103 for a high. 98 degrees by 2 o'clock, 103 by 5 p.m. Southerly winds 10 to 20 miles per hour and gusty, so that's not going to help the fire situation that we have going on to our north, as you guys are about to talk about. Temperatures 82 degrees at the airport, 82 New Braunfels, 82 in Hondo, and 78 right now in Uvalde. Mostly right around 80 degrees, what you would expect for 9 a.m. in the morning, but these temperatures will race upwards, and again, we'll be up around 103 this afternoon. So let's look at some of these weather headlines, and I think first and foremost that fire danger rate is elevated today. We're going to have an update on some of those fires for you, and the containment. Heat advisory is in effect. Heat index values could go as high as 105 to 106 this afternoon, so we have a sort of a danger zone there too. And what about that rain? It's still in the forecast for Friday and Saturday. We'll time that out for you coming up in just a few minutes. Let's toss it back to you guys.
Thank you, Justin. We'll keep our fingers crossed. Looking outside with TransGuide, there's a shot there of I-35 at Topper Wine. Not sure right now if that is construction, but it looks like there is a lane blocked off, causing a little bit of a delay, but things are still moving.
All right, let's take a look at today's 9 at 9.
A temporary evacuation center has been set up at a Blanco Methodist church in response to a wildfire that has burned about 800 acres. According to the Texas A&M Forest Service website, the fire is 30% contained. The Smoke Rider fire is happening along Highway 290 East and Ranch Road 165. Crews are also responding to a wildfire west of Fredericksburg that has burned about 1,400 acres and is 25% contained.
Bexar County has received a shipment of monkeypox vaccines. Metro Health says that is enough to protect 500 people against the illness. We currently remain at just 13 confirmed cases. Some doses are being reserved for people who come into close contact with someone who's been infected with monkeypox.
San Antonio City Council passed a resolution supporting abortion access yesterday. It does not legalize abortion in San Antonio, but it would recommend a policy to not use city money to collect information on abortions for criminal investigations. The city attorney confirmed police would still have to investigate crimes based on their priorities. The city intends to fight for abortion access in the next state legislative session.
House Speaker Nancy Pelosi defying China and meeting with the leaders of Taiwan overnight. Also praising the values of self-government, a remark that could further escalate tensions between us and Beijing. Now, the Chinese government calling Pelosi's visit a, quote, serious violation of the one China principle, end quote.
5 states holding their primaries yesterday with the results trickling in overnight. Arizona, Michigan, Missouri, Kansas, and Washington. Several races setting up some of the biggest battleground contests this November. One of the big highlights, Kansas becoming the first state in the nation to pose a question of abortion rights directly to voters after the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade.
Court filings reveal the Department of Defense wiped the phones of key officials at the end of the Trump administration. A watchdog group filed a Freedom of Information Act against the Army to obtain January 6 records from several officials. The Department of Homeland Security is also under fire for losing messages from the phones of Secret Service agents. But officials say those messages were lost by accident during a data migration process and not wiped out on purpose.
The Omicron subvariant BA.5 continues to be the main cause of COVID-19 infections in the U.S. However, the CDC says a new coronavirus variant, BA.4.6, is growing among other strains. The new strain has been found in 47 states and territories. It caused an estimated 4% of new infections during the last week of July.
The man known as the voice of the LA Dodgers passed away yesterday. Legendary announcer Vin Scully was 94 years old. The Dodgers organization describing Scully as an icon, saying he chronicled their glory from Jackie Robinson to Sandy Koufax, Kirk Gibson to Clayton Kershaw. They did not reveal Scully's cause of death yet.
Even with higher gas prices and soaring inflation, Uber isn't slowing down on its rebound from the worst days of the pandemic. Yesterday, Uber said it brought in $8.1 billion between April, May, and June. That's more than double what it made the same time last year. The company says the number of people using the app is at an all-time high. And that's today's 9 at 9.
In your morning headlines, parents of a victim of Sandy Hook shooting getting to go right at Alex Jones, and a mom doing what she had to do to save her babies from the flooding in Kentucky.
Plus, remember the guy who shot the suspect trying to rob him? Well, we're going to get to hear from that store owner. David Sears is here with that update. Good morning.
Yeah, the guy right back to work after all that.
No kidding.
So, yeah. He's a hero.
Yes.
We'll have that for you in just a second. But first, let's start with this. The defamation trial of accused conspiracy theorist Alex Jones continues in Austin, and things are getting a little heated in the courtroom. The founder of InfoWars and radio host is being sued by families of the victims of Sandy Hook school shooting back in 2012. Jones has repeatedly said the whole thing was staged by actors. He has been dressed down by the judge for claiming he's broke and his company has filed for bankruptcy, but that has not stopped one of the families from suing for $150 million. The Lewis family letting Jones know their son, Jesse, is real. He was one of the ones killed at Sandy Hook.
My son existed. Jesse was real. I am a real mom.
I never intentionally tried to hurt you. I never even said your name until this case came to court. I didn't even really know who you were until a couple years ago when all this started up. The internet had a lot of questions. I had questions.
Jones has accused Jesse's father of being slow and manipulated. So far, families of 7 victims and an FBI agent have successfully sued Jones. This is what it looked like right off the front porch of Jessica Ouellette's house last week, a raging river right through her front yard. It's usually just a small creek across the street from her mobile home. Jessica, the mother of 3, trying not to panic while the water was rising and rushing by. She had to figure out how she was going to save her 3 kids. All she could think of doing was getting the electric cord off her vacuum cleaner, tying everybody together. Her husband was not far away, waiting on the other side of all that raging water, so he was ready to help them. So she went for it.
What were you thinking when your mom was tying the vacuum cord around all 3 of you?
I thought she was crazy. I told him, I said, I've tied us together in case the worst happens, you know, we'll be together. So I was like, what do I do? Do I just stand underwater and hold them up? Like, I didn't know what else to do. And I was just sitting there thinking, well, what's it like to drown? Because in that moment, you're like, what's it going to be like for my kids?
Good news is they all made it safe. Jessica said it must have been a God thing. This is what is left of that little area, though, not much. And see back over there, all that twisted metal, that was their mobile home.
Oh,
not much left now. So, yeah, but, you know, obviously,
Yeah.
you know, being a mom,
How scary.
you do what you got to do to
Yes,
save your
you
kids,
do.
right?
Yes, you do, and I'm glad they're okay.
But how in the world do you think about vacuum cleaner cord?
Maybe that was the first thing in front of her.
I guess.
You know, you're rushing, and you just want to be okay.
So fortunately, everybody's all right on that one. All right, let's take you to a couple of days ago. Remember we showed you this video of that robber going into a convenience store in California with that long gun pointed right at that owner. The owner reacted, shot the suspect, who then ran off screaming that the guy shot him arm off. He got into a BMW, and then the other 3 guys with him, they all took off. 80-year-old Craig Cope had a heart attack right after the incident, but has recovered, and he has returned to his store.
I knew, and he's pointing the gun directly at me. It was a half second, 3/4 of a second. I'm not going to wait. I just did what I had to do. I would always protect my employees, my customers, myself. This instance, fortunately, I was here by myself, so I only had to worry about that. I took care of it, and that was that.
I love that. I took care of it.
That was that.
All 4 of the suspects have been caught. The guy that they got shot in the arm, he was screaming when he was leaving. He's recovering in the hospital.
I'm so glad to see him back at the store. I mean, well, just to see him back and doing okay after all that.
He says that gun is going to stay close to him from now on. And I think the police in that area or the deputies in that area have been warning people that this has been an uptick in these robberies of the convenience stores. So,
he was ready.
So he was ready. Well, he actually, we showed yesterday he had the new video camera system. He was actually watching that guy. He said there was nobody in the store, and he watched that guy back that BMW SUV up to that parking spot. He said, that's unusual for that kind of vehicle to be in this neighborhood that late at night and backing in. So he knew something was about to happen. And then he saw him get out. So he's ready for that guy when he walked in. So
I just love how nonchalant he was. And that is that.
Took care of business.
Another day of work.
Oh my goodness.
Ringing up a cash sale.
Something like that.
Took care of business. Good for him.
Thank you, David. Time now, 9:09, 81 degrees out.
And still ahead on GMSA at 9, the city of San Antonio is offering some support to small business owners still struggling because of the pandemic, how it has already helped some businesses, and how you can apply.
And after the break, Tiffany Huertas explaining what we can expect at this year's San Antonio Film Festival and what's happening this week. Good morning and welcome back. In its 28th year, the San Antonio Film Festival returns with more than 200 films.
And this year's 6-day festival takes place at the Radiate Center downtown with multi-screens showcasing this year's best films. Tiffany Huertas joins us live from the Radiate Center with more.
Good morning, Tiffany. So what can people expect this year?
Good morning, Max and Stephanie. People can expect a lot of different films. Just check it out. Look at the schedule right here. You can watch feature films, documentaries, works by San Antonians, everything from mystery to comedy. There's something here for everyone. To talk more about this, we have festival director and founder Adam Rocha and filmmaker Jose Raul Correz, and we're taking you right now to the red carpet this morning. Good morning. Talk to us about this festival and how cool it is.
Yes, ma'am. So we're celebrating 28 years of cinema in San Antonio, and it's just like kind of like Sundance in San Antonio. So we have about 220 films over 6 days of all the genres of animation, documentary, narrative, experimental. And they're short blocks of films or a feature-length film like you would see at like the Alamo Drafthouse or something like that. So and the tickets are really inexpensive, from $5.99 to $149. But so it's 6 days of cinema. We're celebrating filmmakers and film people behind the camera, in front of the camera, and we've been doing it for 28 years.
What are you most excited about?
You know, we give away a lot of information in terms of panels. So we bring industry panelists, filmmakers from LA. So we have one Friday and Saturday. Our headliner is Michael Jablow, and we're screening his film Old School with Will Ferrell. But he is really, Michael Jablow is he's a retired teacher from American Film Institute and is a big-time editor, and he's here to teach San Antonio's comedy editing.
So cool. And Jose, talk to us about your film. What's it all about?
So my film, it's about 3 couples that live in the same apartment, and it happens over a span of 50 years. So you see it in the 70s and the 90s and then, actual date. So yeah, it was filmed here in San Antonio, and the whole idea came because one day I was at a party, I was looking out a window, and I just started thinking how many people have been or have passed through an apartment, because San Antonio has a lot of historical buildings, historical sites, and the city's so rich and so full of just emotions and very. It's amazing. For lack of a better explanation, it's amazing to be in one of those parts of the city where there's just so much history. So yeah.
How does it feel to have your film shown in this hometown of yours?
Honestly, it's amazing. Thank you, Adam. It's amazing, and Cedric as well. It's just to be working with your peers and to be surrounded by your people, and it's basically you just walk down the street and you see another filmmaker, and then you go to a coffee shop and you see another filmmaker and an actor and an actress, and it's so heart melting, and it's fantastic. It's probably one of the best feelings in the world. And also because there's so much talent here in Texas, and it's booming, and it's very underrated. And I think that within the next 5-6 years, we're going to be looking at a whole nother ball game, when it comes down to films here in Texas, and especially because, like you said, this is like a little Sundance in San Antonio, and we're going to keep on pushing, to make it like that for the next few years. So, yeah.
Awesome. Well, I'm very excited for this festival. Thank you for joining us this morning. And before we let you go, we just have to address these booths. Talk to us about these booths.
That's kind of the theme of the festival this year. It's kind of country and western. I mean, that's what San Antonio is. It's hometown. It's cultura. It's our people, right? So that's the theme.
I love it. You cannot miss out on these booths. So come check it out. We'll have all those details on KSAT.com and more on the noon show. Back to you guys.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you, Tiffany.
Kind of like the ones at North Star Mall.
Yeah. I like the San Antonio Sundance.
That's right. Thank you, Tiffany.
It's funny, too, because it's a perfect opportunity to get out of the heat, enjoy all the new films.
Yes. Anything to get out of this heat.
Anything these days. We've got a heat advisory today, so today is one of those days where it's just not fun to be outside. We look at the map here when we're talking about current fires. You probably saw some of this yesterday. We had some pretty significant fires north of here. The Smoke Rider fire, 800 acres, is 30% contained as of this morning. That's the latest. And Big Sky, which is up there in Gillespie County, is only 10% contained. That's 1,400 acres. So these are some pretty significant fires, and they are putting out some smoke. The smoke forecast, now this model always overdoes it a little bit, but you can see we're going to get the southerly winds, so the smoke's going almost due north. It doesn't come back here to San Antonio. But if you're west of Austin, Blanco County, Gillespie County, you may see some of this smoke. So just heads up as they try to get these fires under control. And maybe they start to go away a little bit as we get into tonight. That's the hope anyway. But there is a significant fire danger today. And you can see where that dark orange color is. There is a very high fire danger in these areas. So the hill country, northern parts of Bexar County, much of the areas south and west of town. And then even if you're not in that, you're in a high category, including here in San Antonio. So we got to be extra careful. Yes, there is humidity there, but the fuels, the grass, the vegetation is just so dry. And it can go up just like that with these gusty winds. So that is why we've got to be so very careful. And there's a little closer look there at San Antonio. Grass fire danger. No campfires or burn piles. Avoid using tools that create sparks. You'll want to dispose of cigarettes properly. Don't drag trailer chains. It's always a big one. And don't park vehicles on grass, and that can help us avoid some of these grass fires. We're not really seeing them on the satellite this morning. We were able to see some of that smoke yesterday, not necessarily there, but we do have morning clouds, and those are quickly dissipating, so we know that the sun's going to be in full force here soon. 82 degrees at the airport. Dew point is at 73. Feels like 87 with a good southerly breeze right now at 14 miles per hour. 82 New Braunfels, 83 Gonzales, 85 Pleasanton, 84 already in Cotulla, and 81 right now in Helotes with a few 70s still holding on across the hill country. Dew point trend today, it is fairly humid right now. Those dew points do drop off into the low 60s. And just like yesterday with that kind of dew point, and when you start getting temperatures around 102, 103, that heat index jumps up to 104, 105, maybe 106, and that's when you begin to get into that danger zone. KSAT 12-hour forecast here in San Antonio, 94 noontime, mostly sunny, 102 at 4 o'clock. We'll go 103 for a high today, which would tie a record, by the way, and I'll also point out the winds, 10 to 20 miles per hour, and those are those gusty winds that give us some concern about grass fires. 96 degrees at 8 o'clock, 92 by 9 p.m. Boy, it does not cool down much at all. And this is the forecast heat index this afternoon. And that's what I was talking about with sort of the danger zone. These are the kind of numbers where you can start to suffer heat illness pretty quickly. 106 in Seguin, 107 the heat index in Floresville today. And this is around 5 o'clock this afternoon. The satellite and radar across the state of Texas, there is not much going on, but we do continue to see that heavy rain just to the west of New Orleans. That's a little piece of energy that we're watching because it is forecast to move in our direction, and it should be here by late Friday into Saturday. As it moves across the area, should generate some showers and storms. Nothing widespread, but some isolated stuff. So 20% chance still Friday afternoon, and that continues over into Saturday. Those are kind of our two chances, or our window to see some isolated pop-ups during the afternoons, and then after that it dries out again. 103 tomorrow, another record-tying day. 99 Friday, 98 Saturday. The added cloud cover, that chance of rain drags temperatures down a little bit. 99 Sunday, and then we're back in the triple digits next week, guys.
All right. At least a little break there somewhere.
Small break. Small.
Yeah. Thank you, Justin.
It's just nice seeing the rain graphics on the screen.
Just to see even the possibility, right?
Yeah. Beautiful. Time now, 9:21, 82 degrees out.
And talking to your kids about drugs is something a lot of parents are doing, but getting them through that can be difficult. So coming up next, how one organization is engaging kids in the conversation by using something most of them already play.
And heading out to break, taking a quick look out at the roadways. We have learned there's something going on today.
Yes, so there is an accident there at I-35 northbound at Weidner, and that's why you kind of see that lane blocked off right there. However, it looks like things are still moving there. We'll keep you updated as we get more information.
Welcome back. 1 in 8 teenagers admitted to using drugs just last year.
In the last 4 years, drug use among middle schoolers went up 61%. So how do you get through to your children about the dangers of drugs?
Sarah Costa shows us one organization that's found a new way to engage kids in this conversation.
There's definitely been some peer pressure in school.
10th grader Molly Mungan has stayed strong, but she knows other kids in her school have not.
And they felt like they couldn't live without it.
From vaping to drinking to popping pills, Molly's mom has been open about the dangers.
It's an ongoing conversation.
A new video game could kickstart the discussion. Pixelton Adventures is a free online game that provides teens with real-life scenarios.
Will they use a classmate's ADHD medicine to focus better for their finals? Is that something that they're going to participate in? And how does that impact them? If a young person under the age of 13 begins using a substance, there's a 70% chance that they will develop a substance use disorder sometime in their lifetime.
When you do start discussing the dangers, be sure to keep your conversations age appropriate. For preschoolers, it's about making healthy choices. In elementary school, take advantage of teachable moments. When you see someone smoking in a movie, mention the dangers. By middle school, set rules. In high school, make sure your child knows you disapprove of using drugs or drinking alcohol. And stand by your rules. If your teen breaks them, enforce the consequences. Most importantly, continue to talk to your child about their choices.
Kids do choose to go the right path and not take the drugs.
Also, remember when starting these tough conversations to keep your tone calm and teach kids early how to say no. The key age for discussions is from 8 to 12 years old. They're young enough to understand and not yet tuning you out. I'm Sarah Costa, KSAT 12 News.
Time now, 9:27, 82 degrees out.
And there's still a lot more ahead on GMSA at 9, including a look at some morning sports. Ooh. David will join us again to talk about the Cowboys' wide receiver situation.
But before we get to that, a look at what came out of a planning meeting in Uvalde yesterday. City leaders and residents, families there talking about how to honor the victims from Robb Elementary. We're going to explain. Good morning and welcome back. Uvalde city representatives and community members taking the first steps yesterday to plan a permanent memorial for all the victims of the Robb Elementary School shooting.
The city held a strategic planning meeting yesterday to go over some initial ideas how to properly honor the victims. One of the ideas presented was to place 21 plaques around a fountain at the plaza.
The uncle of one of the victims said he's spoken to others who've said that they would like to see a permanent memorial at the site of Robb Elementary after it's torn down.
It's something you have to take your time with. Right now we're in the grieving process. It is in the stage where we're asking for accountability, different things of that nature. But it's something that has to be really well thought out and get the immediate family members involved.
And this was just the first of many meetings, and right now there are no official plans for the memorial or the funding. City officials say the final decision will be made by the families.
Other top stories this morning, escalating tensions between the United States and China after House Speaker Nancy Pelosi meeting with Taiwan's president overnight.
China is accusing the U.S. of playing with fire and announcing a live fire military drills close to Taiwan shores in retaliation. ABC's Mary Bruce is tracking the latest.
This morning, the meeting China did not want to happen. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi defying Beijing's stern warnings, warmly received by Taiwan's president.
Our delegation came here to send an unequivocal message. America stands with Taiwan.
Pelosi is the highest-ranking official to visit Taiwan in 25 years, a self-governing democracy that China considers part of its territory.
The world faces a choice between democracy and autocracy. America's determination to preserve democracy here in Taiwan and around the world remains ironclad.
But this morning, Beijing is furious, accusing the U.S. of playing with fire. The Chinese government swift to react, announcing military exercises in the waters surrounding Taiwan, including live ammunition drills, and sending nearly 24 warplanes into its air defense zone. The spokesman for the Chinese Foreign Ministry this morning saying the U.S. and Taiwan are not listening, and therefore the Chinese military and the Chinese side can only communicate with the U.S. and the Taiwan Independent Separatist Forces in a language that they can understand. Pelosi has long been a vocal critic of China's human rights record, seen here in 1991 commemorating the pro-democracy protesters killed in Tiananmen Square. And visits by Republican and Democratic lawmakers are common, but this visit is different. Shrouded in secrecy, Pelosi's office refusing to confirm the stop until she touched down in Taipei.
And that was Mary Bruce reporting. Let's look outside with live cam. We're creeping up to 82 degrees. Yes, it's been a hot summer.
I just want to look at live cam once and see like raindrops.
Right?
On the cameras. It's so much to ask. We do have a little bit of rain in the forecast, but it doesn't head our way until Friday and Saturday. In the meantime, we're going to deal with some more record heat, I'm afraid, today. 85 right now in Waco. It's already up to 86 in Houston. We're at 82, but quickly warming at this hour. And as we zoom out, the west is finally getting a little bit of relief. Temperatures are in the 60s and 70s there this morning. Seattle's down to 54. But the rest of the country is going to be baking again this afternoon. You see the heat advisories posted from San Antonio all the way up to Detroit this afternoon. And this is where temperatures are going to get very, very warm, including here in Texas. 101 in Oklahoma City, 103 Dallas, 103 here in San Antonio. And temperatures, as I mentioned, already jumping into the 80s. So hot today, hot tomorrow, and then maybe some relief by the end of the week. We'll talk more about that forecast here in just a few minutes, guys.
Camping with KSAT, powered by Davis Law Firm.
Thank you, Justin. Well, Cowboys training camp continues in Oxnard, California.
David, join us again. Talk about Cowboys wide receiving situation and a look at UTSA football, plus remembering a legendary baseball broadcaster.
Yeah, we're starting to get into that time of camp where you don't know what day it is. Mm-hmm. You just know if they practice, what time they practice.
Gotcha.
If somebody walked up to you and said, hey, it's Wednesday, you'd go, oh, really?
Okay.
Didn't know. It was just repetitive over and over and over. And of course, as we get into camp, the deeper we go, the more the injuries we get. James Washington is injured, and then you're talking about the recovery of Michael Gallup as well. The only wide receiver on the Cowboys roster in camp right now with a touchdown in the NFL is CeeDee Lamb. He'll be the Cowboys' #1 receiver this season after the trade of Amari Cooper. With that said, does CeeDee Lamb believe he will be featured prominently in the Cowboys' offense?
Most definitely. I hope that doesn't change. Most definitely. So, the way things are looking right now, we're looking pretty solid.
He'd be lucky if he's not the only receiver in camp. One of the young wide receivers, though, who is there, has got a better shot at making the roster because he has caught the attention of both Lamb and head coach Mike McCarthy. He is undrafted rookie out of Western Illinois, Dennis Houston, who graduated from Warren High School. So where does Dennis feel like he caught the eye of the Cowboys to get to camp?
Every step of the way, because they notice every bit of progress throughout your high school to college to where I'm now, but I feel like I've made strides every point.
That's has really jumped out. That you could see it in the OTAs. He made a lot of plays. I think everybody, both sides of the ball, was impressed. And I think, history would tell you, okay, now let's see what he does in pads. So, and I think he's put together 2 solid days. So, guy's a heck of a young football player.
It's that Texas high school football training.
Ah.
That's why he's
Gotta be. I gotta say though, that's almost a jarring stat that you threw out there. CD is the only wide receiver on the roster right now with an NFL touchdown. Should that make Cowboy fans a little worrisome?
Little nervous, but you know, every training camp they start releasing guys because of contracts. They start releasing guys because of old. Some young guy will come in, step up, and they'll look at the older guys and go,
maybe it'll be Dennis.
Yeah.
You know, so you never know. So the waiver wire will start happening here in the next 2 or 3 weeks. Start cutting some guys, and the Cowboys will be able to find them at least a guy who can, you know, fill a void for right now. He may not stick with the team for long, but at least he can fill a spot and catch a pass.
David.
That would be nice. In the meantime, maybe there's a guy on the UTSA who can do that. UTSA Roadrunners kicked off their fall camp this week with a shot at winning back-to-back Conference USA titles after taking their first last season in a school record 12-2 finish. Yesterday, head coach Jeff Traylor was asked if there are any transfers that could be day one contributors.
I haven't seen them in pads with me coaching them yet. It's been in pajamas, and there's a lot of guys that look really good in pajamas, and there's a lot of guys that don't look good in pajamas. And then when the pads come on, all of a sudden, that 4'9" guy that didn't broad jump very well is out there making plays like crazy.
Well, here's the key: keep them out of pajamas then.
I was going to say.
First off, congrats to UTSA because they had an amazing season last year. Moving conferences coming up. Jeff Traylor's sound bites are some of the best in college football. I think last year, Sarah Costa wanted to put "cooking with fish grease" on a T-shirt.
One of his sound bites.
My question is, do they have UTSA Roadrunner pajamas?
I'm sure you can find them at the bookstore.
I'm sure.
Yes.
You know, the bookstore's got everything in there. So
Popular item.
So that'll be interesting. So, you know, don't wear your pajamas to practice. Another big loss in the sports world to talk about this morning. Hall of Famer baseball broadcaster Vin Scully passed away at the age of 94. He was the voice of the Dodgers for nearly 70 years, an icon that can never be replaced. He began every broadcast the same way.
It's time for Dodger baseball.
Whether in Brooklyn in the 1950s or for the 6 decades that followed in Los Angeles, Vin Scully calling 67 seasons with the Dodgers, the longest tenure of any broadcaster with any one team ever.
What a marvelous moment for the country and the world. A black man is getting a standing ovation in the Deep South.
Hank Aaron breaking a Babe Ruth record. The 1988 World Series and Kirk Gibson's Game 1 walk-off homer.
In a year that has been so improbable, the impossible has happened.
And the 86 World Series.
Behind the bag, it gets through Buckner. Here comes Knight, and the Mets win it. High fly ball into right field. She is gone.
During his final broadcast in 2016, Scully looking back on an incredible career.
When the upcoming winter gives way to spring, rest assured, once again, it will be time for Dodger baseball. So this is Vin Scully wishing you a very pleasant good afternoon wherever you may be.
He's an icon. He's an icon of LA.
You know, it's a sad day for the city. It's a sad day for baseball.
Growing up, baseball is all I had. And Vin was there every step of the way.
Dodgers CEO Stan Kasten said, quote, Vin Scully was one of the greatest voices in all of sports. He was a giant of a man, not only as a broadcaster, but as a humanitarian. He loved people. He loved life. He loved baseball and the Dodgers, and he loved his family. You know, you heard some of those calls over 70 years. He had a lot of great calls. He had a lot of quick whips, some quick sayings, but there's always one that has stood out as one that everybody can relate to, whether you're a baseball fan or not, a Dodger fan or not, is one that he said about Andre Dawson. He said he's got a bruised knee, and he is listed as day-to-day. Aren't we all?
Very true.
Vin Scully.
Very true. I love the old footage.
Yeah, that's great stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
And those were the days when, you know, we didn't have as many different avenues to watch games, and even when he did radio, you know, you had to paint the picture. And sometimes the picture doesn't get painted quite as well as Vin Scully did. Even on TV, it doesn't quite translate.
And just think about all the people who learned from him and kind of are imitating what he taught them.
Yeah. So he was one of the best. Always will we remembered as one of the best.
Absolutely.
A voice we will remember.
Yep.
Thank you, David.
Thank you, David. Time now, 9:41, 83 degrees out.
You're watching GMSA at 9, and when we come back, how small business owners can get help from the city of San Antonio if they find themselves still struggling to recover from the pandemic.
Good morning and welcome back. So if you're a small business owner who's hurting from the pandemic, the city of San Antonio is offering some help.
They are offering $17 million in COVID impact grants of up to $35,000. And you have until August 22nd to apply, especially if you haven't been awarded any grants in the past 2 years.
Jessie Delgado shares the story of a coffee shop owner who says she is so happy she applied when she did.
Andrea Lay's cherished memories of her grandmother in Mexico started it all.
My abuela always have café de olla when we go to her house.
Figuring others had the same yearning for café de olla and its unique blend of Mexican coffee, cinnamon, and piloncillo, Andrea Lay started her own business. On the menu, one bearing her grandmother's name, Valentina. Offering the aroma and flavor of a traditional Mexican coffee, this is where Olla Express had its humble beginnings. But then the pandemic hit, and although she pivoted to online sales, last year she turned to Janie Barrera at Lift Fund. Instead of a loan, she was awarded a $6,000 COVID impact grant.
That was huge because you don't have to pay back.
Lay boosted the production of her popular piloncillo syrup, and she opened Olla Express in a trendy prime location in Los Patios.
Two big things happening at the same time in last year.
So our priority right now are small businesses in the city of San Antonio who have not had access to grant programs in the past.
Who, like Andrea Lay, have a dream.
I never give up in anything, especially if it's mine.
Jessie Degollado, KSAT 12 News.
All right, time now, 9:46, 83 degrees out, and it is not going to get any cooler out there.
No, we haven't had any significant rain in a while.
No, we haven't. It's one of those put the oven mitts on to grab the steering wheel type day. The way temperatures
That was
going.
good. I've never heard that before.
You've never seen that meme?
No.
Sometimes you have to. The steering wheel is so hot. Anyway, I want to take you guys back in history. Let's go back to Hurricane Celia. This is back in 1970. Made landfall right around Corpus Christi. You know, interesting, in 1970 we were in a drought as well, and this hurricane actually helped to lift us out of the drought a little bit, but unfortunately it came with a lot of damage too. It caused 15 fatalities, 466 injuries. Moved just south of San Antonio, brought flood and wind damage to Del Rio. There was a tornado in Dilley that did a lot of damage, and then a third of the homes in Corpus Christi were damaged by this hurricane, which was a Cat 3 when it made landfall. But a lot of people remember this one as it swept across South Texas. And the tropics this year, well, they haven't been near as active. We have seen quite a bit of nothing out in the Atlantic. There's a picture for you from Corpus Christi, one of the bays there. You see all the boats just stacked up from Hurricane Celia. So a little bit of a flashback there. Let's go outside live for you right now. We've got partly cloudy skies, 82 degrees at the airport, 82 Stinson, 81 at Kelly, 84 at Randolph, and a south-southeasterly breeze anywhere from 10 to 20 miles per hour. Any sort of morning cloudiness is quickly going away. We've got a patch of clouds here over the hill country, but that won't last much longer. So a lot of sun and a lot of heat. Right now we're sitting at 82 in Helotes, 79 Bernie Stage, 84 in Braunfels, 81 in Seguin. Already up to 88 in Gonzales, and you got these dew points in the low to mid 70s, so it is really starting to get sticky. And then also you have to worry about the heat index today. And these numbers, well, they're in the danger zone. They're 108 in Gonzales, 106 New Braunfels, 106. That's your feels like number in Seguin this afternoon, 107 in Somerset, 106 here in town. The KSAT 12-hour forecast, 91 at 11 o'clock. We're already up to 94 by noontime, mostly sunny. And then we get all the way up to 103 for that high. With the heat index a little bit warmer than that. And we have the gusty winds too. And I mentioned this earlier with those winds, 10 to 20 miles per hour and gusty, you got to start to worry about the fire danger, which we saw yesterday. We've got those two fires going in Gillespie and Blanco County. But this is the fire danger today. And it is in the very high category in most spots. So any sort of spark, any sort of flame, it can spread quickly. We have so much dry vegetation out there, as you know. Everything's crunchy, and it goes up in flames quick. So that's what we have to be worried about this afternoon. And I love to do a comparison here of rainfall. It's been so incredibly dry. compare it to some of our really dry cities here in the United States. Las Vegas has not even gotten an inch of rain yet, but they're still a little bit below average. Phoenix and El Paso, about an inch to 2 inches respectively. They're just a little bit below average. We're not that far behind them. We're at 5.12 inches, but look at our deficit, 13 inches. We are more than a foot behind average. So we're sort of mimicking a desert situation as it is right now. We're hoping for a little bit of rain. And there is some out across parts of Louisiana and the Gulf of Mexico, and some of this energy is going to move in our direction, I think, as we head into Friday and Saturday. So the high kind of shifts north a little bit. This squeezes underneath, and that gives us a 20% chance. I think mainly our eastern counties Friday afternoon, and then the rest of the area on Saturday. There is a shot at an isolated shower storm. It will not be a drought buster. It's not probably going to bring a whole lot of rain, but it will bring temperatures down some. 99 Friday, 98 Saturday. Then we're back near triple digits by Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. We'll be right back.
Good morning and welcome back. Jane Fonda, Whoopi Goldberg, and Simon Pegg, all part of a new animated movie debuting Friday on Apple TV.
CNN's Rick Damagilla gives us a preview of the new movie, Luck.
I blamed bad luck for everything that's gone wrong in my life.
A young woman who believes she's unlucky finds herself in the land of luck.
Humans cannot be here.
Where's here?
The land of luck.
This movie was so much fun to film, or to record, and what an incredible team of people who were creating it, directing it, editing it, being in it. It was just such a great project.
Luck is different all around the world, like in Scotland, where a black cat like me is considered very lucky.
An all-star voice cast brings the fantastical beings of the land of luck to life.
I love playing characters who aren't telling you the whole story. Bob is definitely that, and he carries a huge secret with him throughout the entire film, and it's really fun to play characters who have things going on the inside as well.
Hello.
Mighty leprechaun Fräulein. Well done, nature.
This was my first time playing a unicorn, and I was very excited. I've never grown a mustache successfully in my life. It's embarrassing and weird. So to have a very gigantic mustache where all the snacks can get trapped for weeks at a time, what an exciting role to play.
Ta-da! There's not a speck of bad luck here. It was just really, really fun. It was at the height of COVID. I went to a sound studio to do the recording. The director was giving me directions from Zoom. I mean, it was different. It was a challenging experience.
Let's go, kitty cats. Drop your travel pennies. Keep it moving. You know, it really is a story of all of us. You know, having to learn and come to terms with, you know, shifts and changes, you know, and what looked like a really horrible thing and a terrible thing also gave us some real strengths in terms of strengthening family ties and friendship ties. See, Captain, do you like jokes? Only the funny ones, Bob.
In Hollywood, I'm Rick Damagella.
That is it for us on GMSA at 9 a.m. Have a great rest of your day.
Bye, guys. See you tomorrow.